What's going on, subscribers? Welcome to another brand new video. Today I'm going to be talking about something a little bit more personal, and that is, what is an underdog? So this is something that I've always classified myself as an underdog, and a lot of people don't know what exactly I mean by it. So I wanted to take the time to explain exactly what I mean by I consider myself an underdog, and we're also going to examine if you are an underdog. So I'll go through the criteria and let me know in the comment section down below if you are an underdog. Let's go ahead and get started. Are you new to the Flaming Profits YouTube channel and you haven't subscribed? What are you waiting for? Make sure you hit the red subscribe button. That way you can see all of my videos under your subscription. And make sure you hit the notification bell icon. That way you get notified as soon as we release brand new videos. Let's make it a challenge to get this video to be the most liked video out of the whole Flaming Profits YouTube channel. So make sure you hit the like button before we get started. And I do have some special surprises for all of you. Let's talk about that real quick. Alright, so with M1 Finance, an amazing brokerage that I use every single day, you're actually going to get free $10 for you to get started investing with M1 Finance. This is an amazing brokerage that I absolutely love. You get free fractional share investing and reinvestment of dividends automatically. And then for Robinhood, they'll give you a free stock as soon as you sign up. No reason why not to do it. It's free money. And then we have Webull. You get 2 free stocks, so even better. There's no reason why you should give up this offers. It's free money that you can use for whatever you want if you do decide to sell the stocks. And all the links are going to be in the description so that you take advantage of these deals. So now we have the secured credit card, which I use every single day for all my purchases, and you get 1 to 2% cash back. But the best thing is they're offering a $50 sign-up bonus. So as soon as you sign up, they'll give you $50 of free spending money. I don't know why you would not want to do this. It's free money. Anyways, all the deals are in the description, and let's get started. Alright, so let's define the typical definition of an underdog. So an underdog is a person or group in a competition, usually in sports or creative works, who is popularly expected to lose. The party, team, or individual expected to win is called the favorite or top dog. In the case where an underdog wins, the outcome is an upset. So the reason why I've always considered myself an underdog is because I feel like I've never had the favorable circumstances that a lot of people have. I've always been the least expected to succeed based on my background. My parents never had a college education, whereas there's a lot of people who their parents actually went to college and have degrees and have good careers. My dad barely finished high school, and my mom didn't even go to middle school. She just did elementary school. My parents were basically always low income, and they still are. So I didn't have that advantage of having someone that I can look up to that is a high income earner or basically successful in most people's eyes, even though to me my parents are successful. But I didn't have those favorable circumstances, so it's not expected of me to normally win in life. I'm not expected to become a doctor. I'm not expected to become a millionaire. That is just crazy talk. But that's why I consider myself an underdog. But even though I'm not expected to win, I feel like I'm going to achieve a lot more than those who are expected to win. I actually know for sure that I will achieve a lot more than those who are expected to win. I'm planning on becoming a CEO, and I'm certain that I will. I'm planning on becoming a billionaire, and I'm sure that I will. And I'm going to win more than the people who are going to win or are expected to win. And that is why I love being an underdog, because I get to prove to others that it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter how your parents were raised, what kind of education they had, what kind of income they had, what kind of a family you come from. It's all about my efforts, and I'm going to achieve probably way more than those people who are expected to win in life. And that's because of my drive, and a lot of things that I spend a lot of time improving myself, becoming better than what others expect of me. Let me share to you something that I found in an article that kind of talks more about underdogs and why it's actually an advantage. So, number one, history proves underdogs come out on top. From David and Goliath to Donald Trump, history has shown us that being an outsider can prove to be your secret weapon. In the tale of David and Goliath, David was so much smaller than any sane person would have projected him to get clobbered by his gigantic opponent. That's just physics, right? Wrong. You see, David was far smaller, but he also had one heck of a swing. So much so that when he threw a rock at his target, Goliath was so thrown off that he couldn't even see straight. The enemy was down for the count. In our own lives, we must remember that just because the cards may appear stacked against us, the game is not necessarily over. Do not give up too soon. Just because you might not look like those who have succeeded in the past, realize that your unique set of capabilities could help you win in the end. I'm very competitive by nature, and I like to be the underdog. It's the best way to win. To come from behind and win is a great feeling. This is a quote by Zac Efron. Number 2. Underdogs don't play by the rules. And entrepreneurs usually don't play by the rules also. If weaker opponents always played by the rules of the game, they would, of course, lose a majority of the time. The competition is naturally stacked against them with a list of assets they are lacking. However, when a hypothetical long shot decides to bypass the rules, he or she unlocks more power than can be imagined. You see, the projected winner knows what it takes to master the game. They have tried and true skills that it takes to succeed when an underdog is compared to these standards. He or she will always come up short, yet when they decide to play unconventionally, a whole new world of possibilities opens up by foregoing the rules of the game. The dark horses of this world can spot holes in the competition. Number 3. This one reminds me of a book by Damon John, one of the sharks in Shark Tank. It's called The Power of Being Broke. So number 3 says, underdogs have nothing to lose. When you start from the bottom, you don't have much to lose, while the establishment has everything to lose, including their reputation, assets, and power. Outsiders can play by whatever means they wish. They are not held to any standard. This is power in itself. If you're an underdog somewhere in life, realize that this could give you power, and that you're not held to the same constraints as others who have been playing the game for years. You don't have to wait on anyone's approval to get started. You don't need to ask anyone for permission. You can instead map out plans for getting to your goal in whatever way you see fit. For instance, if you're operating on a shoestring budget, instead of pulling from a pool of money, see this as a chance to get creative and do things your way. This could be your key to success in the end. The fact of being an underdog changes people in ways that we often fail to appreciate. It opens doors and creates opportunities and enlightens and permits things that might otherwise have seemed unthinkable. And this is a quote by Malcolm Gladwell, a well-recognized author. To be an underdog is often to go up against the establishment. If you learn to spot holes in the system, you'll undoubtedly come out victorious. While others waste time trying to master the game, underdogs see hidden opportunities. So I want to also talk about some benefits of being an underdog in the workplace, and I'm sure a lot of you will find a lot of resemblance in these tips as it applies to your work. I know it did for sure when I was reading through it. So here's why underdogs actually end up winning in the workplace. Number one, we are less likely to take things and people for granted. Once you felt the pangs of struggle, you don't easily forget it, particularly if it's experienced early in life. That's why we often remember the struggles we had early in life the most. At work, this means underdogs are more likely to notice the little things and demonstrate appreciation, no matter how small those things are. Gratitude makes people happier, and since happiness is contagious, it also positively affects your coworkers. That doesn't mean we're all 24/7 bundles of cheer, but when you grow up without and have a desire for something better, you develop an inherent optimism and immunity to complacency. Number 2, we have rich imagination. Learning to do without demands creativity. Underdogs are well versed in the art of improvisation because it's something that we often have to do. It's simply necessary for our survival. We are scrappy. Last minute changes to a presentation, an accelerated deadline. If all their qualifications are relatively equal, I'll choose the underdog to work on my team every single time. Underdogs spend their lives imagining more, which is invaluable in business. You always want the coworker that wants more in your team. Trust me, everyday improvisation leads to a large-scale innovation, which transforms how we work and what we collectively produce together. Number 3, we are hyperactively observant. When you're an outsider, you vigilantly pay attention to what it takes to fit in. Details and differences are not lost on underdogs. We quickly size up a situation and analyze how to optimize it. Obliviousness is difficult to correct, and underdogs are aware by necessity, a sort of mindful compensation. Being an underdog doesn't mean you're a fraud when you do manage to find your way into more fortunate circles, but it does mean you had to become intimately familiar with the nuances of the rules to get there. This makes underdogs competitive players to watch and hire. Number 4, we are not risk averse. If you've never had a safety net, then you feel like you don't have much to lose. That doesn't mean underdogs are inherently reckless, but it does bode well for taking calculated risks. Being an entrepreneur, for instance, means you are likely to fail at some point. It's part of the process, but it also means you could score big eventually. And it's not about luck, though many will flippantly dismiss it as such, but rather perseverance. That's why they say the harder you work, the luckier you get. Resiliency, tenacity, and general strength of character that leads us to succeed. Underdogs don't take no for an answer and perhaps counterintuitively tend to be very confident while arguably less arrogant, because without that unbridled confidence, we would still be stuck in our previous reality. It takes serious belief in yourself to rise above those circumstances. That's why you see a lot of really successful people have really high confidence, because if it weren't for that they built over time, they wouldn't be capable of achieving the great things that they have. Number 5, we are very hungry, and I can relate to this very much. If there's one thing I know how to do, it's hustle. With underdogs, the default answer is yes. Yes, I can learn how to do that. Yes, I can make that happen. Yes, that is possible. Will this can-do attitude backfire? Possibly sometimes, but more often than not, that inner drive and hunger to excel means that we are willing to acquire new skills, push ourselves out of our comfort zone. What comfort zone? And work toward goals with laser-sharp focus. We will do whatever it takes in order to get us where we want to be. Being an underdog in life has shaped my character and my career, making me more successful and ultimately happier. But while being an underdog can make you a pretty badass in the workplace, let us not glamorize hardship, because make no mistake, it's difficult. Most of us wouldn't want to repeat the past, and we diligently strive for a better future with fewer difficulties for our offspring. And yet, I for one will not change the personal challenges that I've dealt with. Underdog status is what you make of it. It's not a label I'm looking to overcome. It's a permanent state of being for me. It reminds me every day what it took to get where I am, how much I have to be grateful for, and how much room I still have to grow. Being an underdog isn't a plea for sympathy, it's an invitation to triumph. So yes, that's exactly what being an underdog means. It means that I'm not very likely to achieve very high things that a lot of people are more likely to based on their background. Like Bill Gates' children are way more likely to become a CEO, to become billionaires, of course. Everybody knows that. But myself, no one is expecting me to achieve great things. No one ever expects me to become a network engineer, which is also one of my goals. Everybody just expects me to make a reasonable living and do a little bit better than my parents. But that would not be the case for me, because I'm very hungry, like I said. I've pretty much outpaced a lot of people of my age, and that is because of my ambition, my drive, my diligent self-being of always wanting to improve, always wanting to get better, always finding my weaknesses so that I can improve on them, and accepting that I'm not accepting failure. I'm going to do whatever it takes, no matter how much effort it takes. Even if I have to sacrifice my weekends, my extra time, I'm going to do it because I know where I'm heading. I'm crystal clear on my vision, and that's exactly who I am. I am an underdog that a lot of people don't see me coming, but watch out because I'm right behind you. There we go, subscribers. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Leave me a like in this video to show your support. It really helps me out. And also leave me a comment down below. Let me know, do you consider yourself an underdog? Let me know what you think of being an underdog. Do you think this is a good thing or a bad thing? What do you think about my philosophy of being an underdog? Let me know your opinion. I'm really interested in it. Also, make sure you subscribe. You definitely don't want to miss out on any upcoming videos. And hit the notification bell icon, that way you do not miss out any future uploads. As always, don't forget, a wage will make you a living, but profits will make you a fortune. And also, I can, I will, I must.